Go ahead, put it on real tight. Hope you brought your best tonight. They say they got the fireworks, yeah, they say they got the show. Here around the chutes, you're the best, so let's go.
This is Texas Toast. I'm your host, Miss Helen. Kick back and enjoy as we toast the best from Texas.
Cheers and welcome to Texas Toast, everyone. I'm Miss Helen, and I want to welcome Tweek from South Texas Tweek to the podcast. I'm so excited to have you. Tweek, are you there?
Yeah,
you're here. Yeah, it was interesting because before we came on, we just started discussing how we're kind of neighbors. Like, you're from the Lake Jackson area, you're in Angleton right now. And Lake Jackson, by the way, y'all, is where I have to go do my shopping a lot because that's where I go to Academy to get all my fishing gear and fishing stuff. So how's it going, Tweek?
Oh, it goes. I'm a little sleepy.
Right. You said you were in the studio late last night.
Yeah, got home about 4:30 in the morning. Pulled a 10-hour shift in the studio yesterday.
Oh, you working on new stuff?
Yeah. I'm actually, I guess I can tell everybody, and y'all will be the debuting of the information.
Okay.
We are starting the full record this week. My first full album.
That's exciting.
Yeah, so pretty pumped about that. I'm in there like I said, it's like a 10-hour shift yesterday, and then off today, and then Wednesday and Thursday probably be a couple more 10 to 12-hour days.
So where are you recording at?
Oh, sorry.
You're okay. We all get it.
At Wolf Island studio in Dayton, Texas, with Kevin Skrilla.
Cool.
Yeah, and he's producing everything, and he actually produced or had a hand in producing. I don't know if he was full production or was just a part of the team for Summer Dean's latest record. And he produces and records all the Broken Spoke stuff, and a lot of other guys from Houston and the Houston area, and he does a lot of stuff with the Reeve brothers too. He works with a lot of great artists. He's a great engineer and producer. Yeah. So I'm really excited about that.
And so you write a lot of your stuff, plus you co-write a lot with Charley Crockett. So tell me about that relationship.
Yeah, I met him in 2017, I think. Mm-hmm. I just heard about him. I heard about him through Turnpike when he went on that. When he was touring a lot with. Oh, sorry.
That right there is a hardworking musician.
He was. Yeah, I got up specifically for this, and then I'm going right back to sleep. Yeah, so I had heard about Charley through Turnpike, and then he came to Houston, and I went up there and saw him, and then it was a smaller show. It's probably only like 40 to 50 people, like at the most, which, I mean, you'd never even, there's no chance in hell you'll catch him at doing a show like that probably ever again. So it's wild to think about these days.
Well, another wild story that I ran across about you and Charley that is also, like, since we're kind of neighbors with you, Lake Jackson, Angleton area, Greek Brothers in El Campo, y'all co-wrote Lily, My Dear on the bus right there in downtown El Campo at Greek Brothers, outside Greek Brothers. That's one of them. I love going there.
Yeah.
So that's interesting.
Yeah, it was a fun time. Yeah, he just happened to be in town, and he let me know he's going to be in town. I was like, cool, come hang out.
Well, let's talk a little bit about your music. And your first release was Count on Me. And you want to talk about that song and choosing it to be your first release?
Yeah, I wrote it when I was still working at the plants. I was up there at like 3 a.m. one night, just missing the wife and kids, and that opening line just popped in my head, a million memories in my mind. And I was actually out in the plant working on something, and I was just kind of kicking it around in my head. And then when I got back into the break room, I wrote it down on pen and paper, actually, which I never do. and just to remember everything. And then I got off work at like 7, and I went home, and my wife took the kids to school, and I sat at the kitchen table with my guitar, and I think I had the intro, the solo, and everything written within like 30 minutes of me sitting down. It was just one of those that kind of just wrote itself, you know?
Another one I like that you have out is I really like $50 a week.
Yeah, that's another one with Charley and I.
Mm-hmm.
We wrote that one in Houston. He was doing a big New Year's show with Lucas Nelson and Margot Price. And we were sitting down. I can't remember if it was in between Lucas and Margot or if it was right after Charley's set or right before Charley's set, but we were just hanging out on the bus, and he started picking on the banjo.
Uh-huh.
And it was a banjo lick that started it. And he was just playing around on that banjo lick, and I was like, I don't mind. And then, yeah, we had that hook and that first verse written very, very rapidly. And then, yeah, okay, so it was right before he went on and played, because I remember his TM came and got him off the bus and was like, hey, it's time to get on the stage. And we were like, to be continued. And then, you know, the night went on, and it was New Year's, so obviously we didn't continue writing that night. And then we kind of worked with it remotely, you know, just sending voice clips and updating the same note memo in our notes, and got it finished up. And then, bam, I cut it.
So you got a couple more new tattoos, which is another good one. But I want to talk to you how, I mean, your voice and your style in your music is just like, it's old soul. It just takes you back to way, way back. I mean, like, you have a very unique sound.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Very, very authentic, unique, and just old school.
Well, that's what we're going for.
Mm-hmm. You definitely got that.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, it's derived just from growing up around, you know, that kind of music. You know, for a while, country wasn't a huge part of my life, but it's always been in the background, you know. Like my mom used to drive around. I remember in our old 4Runner that we had, which was a long time ago. And I remember specifically because she had like this cassette box, you know, that she would keep all her cassettes in.
Right.
And she had like Patsy Cline and Loretta Lynn and Conway Twitty and George Jones and Dwight Yoakam and all that stuff just in there. And then when we got rid of that 4Runner, my dad had this, you know, one of those big sound systems in the garage that all the 90s dads had. And it had the cassette, it had the double cassette player, so we would sit in there. And even as we got older, you know, we'd be hanging out in the garage at my parents' house with all our friends, you know, not sinning or anything, just hanging in there at 3 a.m. with our buddies for no particular reason. And me and my brother would put on like a Patsy Cline tape or something. So it was, you know, that old school influence has always been there and always been around.
I'm excited to see where you're going to go with this. So Tweek, I have to talk about your name, South Texas Tweek. You want to tell everyone about that? I want to know too. Inquiring minds would like to know about the name.
Yeah, well, the South Texas part is pretty obvious, but Tweek is a nickname I was given when I was like 14 or 15. So they used to call me Twitch because I have Tourette's and I'm very twitchy, obviously. But and then I went to a reformatory school in Colorado when I was like 14 or 15, and one of my buddies up there that I was actually making hip hop music with up there at the school, they had a little studio there, and then, you know, we just kind of always used to, you know, share songs and some poetry and stuff. And yeah, he just gave me the nickname Tweek. He was like, you know, that little dude from South Park? He was like, man, I know a lot of he's a cat from LA, from East LA, and he was like, man, I know a lot of dudes that they call Twitch, you know. He's like, but I never met no fool named Tweek. I was like, well, yeah. And he just started calling me Tweek, and then like the rest of the school caught on. And then when I released some hip hop stuff, I just kind of used that. And then, you know, the nickname, I brought the nickname home with me, you know, because it was just what I was being called at the time. And then, you know, people were putting it on my Facebook, and then I don't know, you know, however nicknames pass hands. And then I used it as my pen name when I was making hip hop, and just carried on with me.
Yeah,
Stuck with me.
yeah, that's what I was gonna say. It just stuck with you, and I think it's just perfect. And I'm so excited about what's to come, and I'm happy to hear that you are in the studio making an album. And are you playing some shows?
Oh yeah, I'm always playing. Actually, I had the weekend off last weekend because I officiated a wedding.
Really?
Oh yeah, I'm an ordained minister in the state of Texas.
That's awesome. Was it friends that you officiated? Somebody you
Yeah.
knew?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the only reason I actually got ordained, was to marry some friends last year, and then another buddy of mine was getting married, and he asked me to do it, and then I'm actually doing another one next month for some more friends. So all my friends are getting married, and I'm happy to help them.
And they're calling Brother Tweek to officiate, right?
Yeah. They call me Reverend Tweek.
Reverend Tweek. I love it. You do a lot of things.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Other than that very occasional weekend off, I'm usually out there Thursday through Monday. I try and take a couple days off during the week, but like up in Houston, if I'm home, I'll go up to Houston on Tuesday nights, and we do what's called a Horny Tonk Tuesday up there at the Big Top Lounge. My brother Christopher Seymour, who's an amazing singer-songwriter and country artist from Houston, him and his band will host it, and then I'll go kind of co-host and you know, work a set or two with them whenever I'm in town. So that's my usual schedule, is, you know, 3 to 4 shows a week, and then that Tuesday thing, and taking some time off whenever I can.
Mm-hmm. And just keep, working on the new album, getting music out and getting out there. I look for great things, and I'm so glad that you could join us on the podcast. And yeah, it's amazing. When I first heard your voice, I was just like, whoa, I was just blown away. And then looking at your background, and I could see I can so see how you co-write with Charley Crockett.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I'm glad y'all had me on. I was really looking forward to it. I'm glad we could work it out.
Yeah, so we'll definitely be keeping up with what you're doing. And then when the new album comes out, then we can get on here and discuss your new album. So anything else, like where can people find you if they want to look at, you know, make contact with your website to learn more, to keep up with your shows, and of course on all the streaming services?
Yeah, everything's just under South Texas Tweek. It's a TWEEK, not TWEAK. It's southtexastweek.com, or you can check me out on all the socials. I've got Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all that. Mm-hmm. And it's the same thing on Spotify. Yeah, and that's the best way to keep up with me is Instagram or Twitter. You know, be warned, if you follow me on Twitter, I hold nothing back on there. I am one of God's silliest gooses on Twitter.
Well, it's been so nice visiting with you, and since we're neighbors, maybe we can catch up one day. Like, you're the only artist that is so close to where I lived, where I could actually drive and come see you.
Yeah, and I mean, we hardly ever play in Brazoria County, though. We actually played at the Dirty South in Angleton a couple weeks ago, and that's probably the only time I'll play in Brazoria County for the next like 4 or 5 months.
Right. Okay, well, again, I'm so glad that we got to know you. So glad you're on the podcast, and thank you again, Tweek.
Yeah, hey, thank y'all for having me.
And with a heavy tongue, she knew where I was from. As she left, I dared to say, well, you can go to hell. Hell, I'll go to Texas. I've had my fill of every place but home. Well, take away these